want to do a quick video. I had mentioned last night on the show with Mark Sargent that I was doing some digging around and see what type of articles and what type of things they would be saying against SHAQ that he has come out claiming that he believes that the earth is flat or highly skeptical of what we've been taught. And he gets into a few claims in his podcast. If you haven't heard his original audio, I have the video up on my channel. Go back a few videos and you will see where Shaq clearly talks about this. But let's read into this article. This is the age of anti-intellectualism, to say the least. They start off the entire article about saying, look, before we even get into anything, we're just going to start off saying that this guy's completely gone off the deep end, and they classify it anti-intellectualism. The latest celebrant of wrong-headed ignorance is Shaquille O'Neal, who holds a doctorate degree in education from Miami's Barry University and is currently claiming the earth is flat. Notice how they basically start off now, even into the article, wrong-headed ignorance. So we've got now two sentences getting into it, anti-intellectualism and wrong-headed ignorance. So now they basically preface it, getting into the article. Everyone's kind of prepared that this is just moronic, so you might as well stop reading. But they continue. They continue with Shaq's quote. He says, listen, I drive from coast to coast and it's flat to me, he said on Big Podcast with Shaq. I drive from Florida to California all the time and it's flat to me. No kids? He's not kidding. The Hall of Famer and former Miami Heat star was picking up where Cleveland Cavaliers guard Kyrie Irving, who claims the earth is flat, left off. Irving seems to have started a flat earth movement among NBA stars. Shaq, like Irving, has fended off scientific claims about the Earth's roundness by saying satellite imagery could be drawn and made up. And they're on to something here right away, getting people to look into even the satellite imagery, everything that we've seen. Again, this article loves to just show this picture of all pictures. What does it say at the bottom? The Earth seen from Apollo looks very round via Wikimedia. So again, they're going to use this right front and center, even when he says, look, satellite imagery could be drawn and made up. So he says that, they throw it in there, they say, hey, it looks round to me. All of the argumentation so far that's coming out from all these articles is they go back to the picture. This is the whole point. The whole point is, are we trusting everything that we've been taught based on these pictures? It's pretty sad that people are still going back to the ships go over the horizon. Look at our pictures of NASA. Look what they taken. And again, this is science. This is something about questioning things. Bring up the scientific experiment. Show us verifiable. Come on, let's do it. Come on, scientists. You're running scared, aren't you? You're like fleeing around. I don't know what Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye, and I don't know if you know this, but Bill Nye actually has a big special that he signed with Netflix, and I believe it's called Bill Nye Saves the World. Can you believe this? The title actual Bill Nye, his new program on Netflix, which is going to be huge, by the way. I mean, you watch, they're going to blow this thing up, they're going to market it. Bill Nye Saves the World. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's something along those lines. I read it and I just shook my head because now Bill Nye is the savior. He's the one that's going to give us all knowledge. He's going to set the record straight. He's an actor. Unbelievable. Like, think about this. Out of all the qualified people, all the brilliance and the true scientists that are around the world, Bill Nye gets to headline the science show that he's going to save the world. And really, I think that they're trying to say that he's going to save everyone from, fake news and nonsense, and he's going to set everyone straight. And I'm sure Bill Nye on one of his shows is going to address this topic. What's he going to do? He's going to show a little ship going over the horizon. Watch, mark my words. He's going to point right to this picture and going, come on, guys. Looks pretty round to me. Even though Neil deGrasse Tyson says it's a pear and you can't notice the pairedness from space, it's so subtle, but the Earth is a pear. We're getting all these conflicting stories. We're getting Bill Nye with his old massive, Netflix special coming up right away. Look it up for yourselves. Unbelievable. I'll probably do a video on it because it's so upsetting. Because again, they're using Bill Nye. If you look into Bill Nye, he's not even a scientist. He's an actor. And all things science, we turn to Bill Nye or we turn to Neil deGrasse Tyson. This really should stop. I mean, people should be demanding that good qualified people at least come forward and have a honest intellectual debate. Come to the table. How come everyone's been asking for debates? No one will come forward. I mean, everyone is running scared. They're throwing all this stuff one by one. They're all breaking down though because these arguments will not work anymore. Ships go over the horizon is easily solved by grabbing your cell phone, zoom in once the ship is gone. There you go. You can bring that camera, or sorry, you can bring that ship right back into frame. Wait till it goes out even further, zoom in further, and there it is again. So we know it hasn't gone over the curve, yet you'll hear this over and over and over. The ships go over the horizon. That's why we can't see. That's we're on a ball. And don't you understand, dum dum? And again, whether you want to say right at the beginning here anti-intellectualism or you want to say wrong-headed ignorance, that's just a nice way of saying dummy, stupid, moron. Understand that you can put these things in an article, but really what you're saying is you're starting off your journalistic piece and saying you're an idiot. Hey, Shaq, you're a moron and a dum dum. But hey, we'll entertain you a little bit by just calling you a moron. Going further, though, they go so far, not just to say this and be so condescending towards Shaq and not even say, well, wait a minute, maybe he's onto something. Maybe there's something going on. We got to get to the bottom of it. No, what do? You got to see this. Even though Shaq has flown around the world a number of times, he's sticking by his claims. Matter of fact, it's a square, he said. That's what it is. As proof, he said that in school we were taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America, which we all know he did not. In school, first thing they teach us is Columbus discovered America. Columbus didn't discover America. Now, Shaq is completely correct here. But what do? They say the frightening thing is that Shaq has a degree in education, which earned him the title doctor but doesn't seem to understand the difference between science and social studies. And it's likely that some of his millions of followers will also start to question the Earth's roundedness. Now, see what they do there? They totally discount it and say it has nothing to do with science. But what Shaq is saying is we're taught certain things. We're taught things in school. Are they true or not? So, what Shaq was trying to do there was trying to illustrate the fact that everything that we're taught isn't necessarily true. We know the whole Columbus thing's not true, yet this is what we are told as fact. So again, they love to use this word science. The reality is it's scientism. Watch my documentary, Scientism Exposed, even just at the very beginning so you can understand the difference between the two. There's a big difference between science and scientism. More people that understand the differences of those two, the better. Because again, when they put out certain things like this and say, it's science, it's not science. That's the reality. Sorry, you can debate it all you want. And if you're really brave, then come forward, have those debates. We'll easily set them up with people in the community, and you can basically come with your empirical evidence, your experimentation that we can kind of look at. And hey, we're all happy about that because we're all for real science. Real science is good. It's scientism that is completely definitely a deception, definitely something that is really having a lot of an effect on the culture, on people's worldview. And in reality, it's not true science. It's not fact. It's not reality. So stop with this. And an article like this kind of illustrates exactly what they're doing. But let's read on. Let's read on. So, anyways, they bring out the difference between science and social studies, which has nothing to do with it. He's illustrating the point that we're lied to. There is truth out there, and that is the reality. Shaq is correct right there. As if we need any more stupidity these days, they say. Well, seriously, after a line like that, they end up with as if we need any more stupidity these days. So again, people, reading this, you're going to be fearful. No one wants to be called stupid. No one wants to be looked at as a moron, these type of things. So it's really intimidating for most people to even look into this because if they dare even look into this and maybe they even something stuck, well, this is their new life. This is how they're going to be viewed. And it's very scary. So my point is, when it comes to the media, they're going to be using this a lot. And they're going to be using this all throughout 2017, maybe even to 2018. I mean, it's going to go for a long time. Ridicule goes on for quite some time because ridicule is very effective. They can dismiss stuff, they can do stuff, but one by one, what they can't dismiss is when big people start asking questions. And what I mean by that is huge audiences, like a Shaquille O'Neal or Kyrie Irving. And one by one, more people that are coming forward, it will not be able to be stopped. But what they will do, however, is ridicule it and keep it contained this way, in my opinion. And again, it's just my opinion. But let's read further. Okay, as if we needed any more stupidity these days. Yeah, okay, guys, let's just see how smart you are. Maybe someone should buy him that t shirt all the cool kids have. And if it doesn't change his mind, maybe Barry University should take back his degree. Now, this is really telling right here because basically saying, listen, if we can enforce this in such a way that, listen, there's going to be penalties, there's going to be consequences that if you continue with these type of things. This is very troubling language because this is almost like, intellectual terrorism, or this is a detriment to society, or, there's a danger, climate change denial, but we're going to be deemed science deniers. And, people can laugh it off and say, haha, I'm a science denier. The reality is I'm a scientism denier, and I'm proud of it. So right here, if people haven't heard me say it before, I'm a scientism denier, and I'm proud of it. No, I'm not a science denier because, again, true science is good. But this is the thing they'll do. You're a science denier, ooh, you're a danger. And really, at the end of this article, they're talking about a consequence. Maybe Barry University should take back his degree. I mean, talk about wow. Like, I mean, there's no words for that. Take back his degree because he's asking people to question certain things. This is dangerous, dangerous talk, and we definitely need to keep an eye on this because before alt-right attacks happen, understand the subtleties in language, understand reading an article like this, reading into it is what are they trying to convey? Because understand that people don't just put an article together really quickly. They have people proofread it. They put words in for a reason. But to me, it's very troubling. But let's just see this T-shirt right here. Maybe someone should buy him that T-shirt that all the cool kids have. Okay. So in order for you to be cool, all right, you want to be cool, you got to get that shirt. You get that shirt. Oh, yeah. And hey, if that doesn't convince Shaq, well, then we'll take back his degree. Maybe we'll ask Barry University to revoke his status as a doctor, in education or whatever. But let's just take a look at this shirt. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's the shirt. Science doesn't give a blank what you believe, right? So, hey, I'm not here. I'm not going to be swearing and stuff. You never know. There's children watching this, and really, children should watch this because you should definitely look into these claims because education is important. What you believe is important, and it's okay to be skeptical and question things. And this is the thing people are questioning it, and what's happening? They're being ridiculed, laughed at, mocked, and then told to wear shirts like the cool kids have. And this is the cool kid shirt, right? It's kind of like the arrogant statements they always make. They're like, it doesn't matter what you believe. Science is true whether you believe in it or not. And this is the same type of ideologies that they completely keep pushing down on us. And this article is disgusting from front to end. And, hopefully, most people looking at this are going to be able to look and say, wait a minute, something deeper is going on. What is going on when they're all coming out and saying this? And they're sticking to their guns. It's not just some little, oh, we're having fun. That time is over. You could maybe say stuff at a certain point and say, oh, they were Kyrie was just throwing it out there because he was just trying to make a bigger point. Well, that's already been dismissed. It's already moved now that basically they're having serious questions. And I'm not saying all these questions they're bringing up are good, and some of them are kind of silly at first glance, but what exactly is happening? Because they're saying these statements for a reason. Could there be a deeper meaning going on? And we should definitely look into it and follow it because again, it's interesting. And now, if the media and everyone were embracing Shaq and Kyrie, then we could say, oh yeah, it's all part of the plan, and they're gonna, spin it, and they're gonna do this. My idea, though, on the whole thing is really when you see them constantly being laughed at and ridiculed, they're really trying to contain it through fear, intimidation, laughter, ridicule. You're gonna see the comedy shows come out, and I'm telling you, man, this guy, you can pick a lot of people, but when you're picking Shaquille O'Neal, the guy has a doctorate in education. To me, it's so brilliant because again, they're trying so hard, and other than calling him names, they're saying maybe we should take back his doctorate degree. I'm telling you, man, we need to continue to expose the world's lies and celebrate truth. Blessings to you.